Welcome into another episode of 4th and 5 presented by Ortho Arkansas. Man, we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to address it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. There's a lot more bad than good, I'll tell you that. I'm going to talk about so many things surrounding this game, from player celebrations that I'm tired of. I'm going to talk about where we were outclassed and also places where we just got away from our technique. And to be honest, I think it was a little bit more of an intimidation factor, because there's some of these things that, hey, these guys are just a lot better. And there's some areas where I'm just like, no, well, what are we doing? We need to be able to compete at a much higher level. I'm going to talk about comments made from Coach Pittman about this team that turns out to be true. I just don't know if it's the best choice of words when talking about your own players, but they are true. I will say that. And we're going to talk about how Ole Miss completely embarrassed this team, and there was not much of a response from the Arkansas Razorbacks. We just looked soft. We looked intimidated. Didn't look like we belonged on the field with that type of team. And Saturday, we did not. But real quick, before we kind of get going, I told you about Ortho Arkansas. Once again, I wish they could do something about how I feel about this program right now. Unfortunately, they only focus on the orthopedic sides of things. So if you're dealing with something, please go reach out to them. They're going to make you feel better from that aspect. But if you're just a hurt Razorback fans and your feelings and hurt, probably not the place to be, because Ortho are big Razorback fans too, and they are on the same page as you. So go see my friends at Ortho for anything that you need. They really take care of you. So this is what we got going on. I'm going to tell you from first drive to second drive to everything in between this game that popped up on tape that I saw. This breakdown could be at least 4 to 5 hours long. I can't get to it all, but I will tell you the certain things that I feel like are the biggest issues with this football team. So let's go ahead and get right into it, and I will give you a heads up. We're going to take a couple stops along the way to give more shout-outs to our sponsors who make all of this breakdown, which all of y'all like to look. They make it all free, and it's going to continue to be free, so we're going to show love to them. So I would really appreciate it if y'all stick through all those and show our sponsors some loves, because they care about you and making sure you can continue to see this content. All right, let's go ahead and start it off. Very first drive of the game, Arkansas on offense, and this is what popped up. Even on a great first play, they created confusion on the defensive side of the ball, but if you run things back from out of the gate, I saw something up front. I was very, very curious about the battle up front, and I was going to take a close look. But look at our left guard, Kudus. You can see right there, already struggling. He understands what he's going up against. And when you lunge like that out of the gate, that means you're a little bit timid, and you just be like, okay, this guy I'm going up against, he's one of the best in the country. Let me try to fire off. He used that against him and swam him right here. Now, obviously, it's a good play. We got rolling, but that kind of set the tone for what it's going to look like the rest of the game. And here we go to the very next play. Once again, I saw stuff on tape that if you're really looking at the little things about setting the tone and what the rest of the game is going to look like, you had every reason to be concerned. Let's go ahead and pull this back up. You see our center, I believe, right there. Whew. When you get pushed like that into the backfield, that's going to be a long day for the running game. And it was a very long day. All right, let's go ahead and keep this thing moving. Once again, this is all in the first drive. You can see right here, Dominion does a great job fighting for some positive yardage. But if we go ahead and roll this back, you're going to see, I believe this play is set up. If you look at our tight end on the right side of the line of scrimmage, he's supposed to jab at that defensive end and then work up to go ahead and block that linebacker. Offensively, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I don't understand who's pulling to block out who. It just looks like there's too much penetration, and Braun just ends up kind of getting in the way. I'm not sure who they're working to, but once again, back to our tight end. He's supposed to jab, and just a really bad angle of trying to get this block lets out linebacker get in on the play. Not looking good so far. Let's get to a fourth down. Feels like Talon did a good job extending the play, but Braun right here just holding, and I do believe he needed to hold him. If not, number 2 would have showed up and made a play right there. That's crazy. Number 2 on every single play has caused an issue for this team. That's whew. All right. Let's go ahead and pick it up, the 3rd and 14. And once again, a situation where it just looks bad on tape. I don't expect to pick up the first down, but look at our left tackle, Kudus. Doesn't see that guy rushing. This guy's playing a spy on Talon. And then he does something which we talked about for a while is look to go help your other guys. But you have to have awareness of where you are, especially when you're a part of creating a clean pocket for your quarterback. You can't run right back into your quarterback and not allow him to step up. A lot of people put this on Ole Miss for bringing in pressure. But once again, still look at number 2 right in the middle. I mean, this dude right here working through double teams. It's going to be a long day, and it was. So once again, unfortunate situations right there for the first drive of the game for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Already out the gate, it just looked like we were going to be outclassed. And in games like this, when you're completely outclassed, the little things matter. And when the opportunities came up to take advantage of the little things, we just weren't there. I don't know what it was. It just seems like we were mentally beat, and that's what Ole Miss did to us. I think they got into our heads early, and our guys couldn't overcome it. All right, let's go get to our first defensive series, and then out the gate, you're going to notice Ole Miss, they already saw on tape exactly where we were going to be weak, and they wanted to expose it. Boy, did it pay off in a big way. One right here from number 15, just I get it. That's a bang play. I don't even know if I necessarily agree with that pass interference, but Ole Miss was going to set the tone. We're going to pick on these DBs, and we're going to see if they're going to show up today and going to be able to compete. Obviously, y'all know how that story turned out, but I'm going to show you on tape areas where we just simply got beat, and then areas where I feel like Coach T. Will could have put his guys in a better position. We'll kind of touch on that here in a second. All right, let's go ahead and keep this ball rolling, pick up on a 3rd and 4. And another one, just like I said, going to attack. I honestly don't agree with this penalty. I thought it was a great play. Use the DB's momentum against them. But one thing I want to point out as we get right here, we've talked about 13 for a while with this Flappy celebration, all right? He doesn't do it right here because I don't think he saw the flag, to be honest. He thought he actually got caught on. If he would have saw that flag, he would have been doing this all day, all right? But you can kind of see him right here. You see those wrists? You see those wrists? Oh, he wanted too bad. He is just – this is what's like so used to doing something, and it's going to come back to make you look bad, all right? That lets you know you're just always thinking, let me get this celebration real quick on primetime TV instead of just being locked in, ready to ball. All right. And I'm going to tell you why that looks so bad here in a second. All right. Let's keep it moving. And I want to bring this play up because I told y'all last week I'm going to be giving out baseball bats for people who bring the wood. And Johnson right here, I mean, I know we didn't have a great game when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, but it's plays like this that set the tone, all right? So far in this game, look at that. So far in this game, Ole Miss has come out and just been bullying us already from the get-go within the first 5 minutes of the game. And then you get right here in a goal line situation and lay the wood on this big tight end. And that's big time. That's a big-time hit. Look at that. That's awesome, right at the goal line. And if you keep that ball rolling, look what it leads to. 4th and goal, stop, a good stand. Everybody's pumped up. Everybody's into the game. Gassed up, excited, and that was a big play. So I will say this. I'm a man of my word, even though I don't want to because we just seem to get embarrassed on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to go ahead and get that baseball bat for Johnson. He's going to win my laying the wood hit of the game. Hopefully that inspires them to do that more often because as you're going to see later on in this breakdown, Ole Miss brought it every single play. All right, so there we go. Get it rolling. Everybody's pumped up. And this is another thing I want to point out. Look at Jackson Dart. All right. This is after their team got all the way down to the goal line. First quarter, they moved the ball with ease. And look at this. Look how pissed he is. Now, I get a lot of people are going to say he's throwing a temper tantrum. I ain't trying to hear that. If you're a team on the road and you don't have a guy with that type of fire because he knows his unit can do better than that, and he's fired up about it, and he's like that on the sideline setting the tone, you got to think their playoffs hopes are on the line. And even after moving the ball like that, he's like, wake up, this is unacceptable, and he uses all the choice words that he used to. You have to love to have that a part of your team. That's called culture. We talk about it all the time. It's not the coaches who have to wake you up and get you going. It comes from within the team. And I thought that was cool by Jackson Dart. You may have your feelings about Jackson Dart, hate him, love him, I don't care. But that right there, That's passion and exactly what you want from a leader on your football team, especially your quarterback. All right, let's take our first time out. As I told you we would, the breakdown will resume right after this. But I got Grant Cook here with me, and very, very excited to hear what you got to say about the offensive line. But y'all have to wait around for Grant Cook a little bit later in the week for that one. But big shout out to one of our newest sponsors, Oaklawn, and their Oaklawn Sports betting. So let's go ahead and look ahead and get to the picks for this week. And so we are going to start with the team that just kicked our teeth in. Ole Miss, they played number 2 Georgia next week. Grant, what you think about this one?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Ole Miss coming off, a routing of Arkansas. We'll get into it a little bit more later this week. And Georgia was in a dogfight till right at the very end. The score really wasn't reflective of how the game went. I watched a little bit of that one while I was out of town, but it was back and forth. I'm thinking, I think I may have to take Ole Miss in this one. So it's -2.5, so really it's almost a pick 'em. But Georgia's -2.5 rather. I think I'm going to take Ole Miss with the points. And I think both of those teams can score. So I'll take the over. So Ole Miss with the points and the over.
Grant, I have to 54 now. Ooh. Their defenses are – the defense that they're going to play against Ole Miss, that is going to be a lot better than what they saw against Arkansas. I'll say that. And I think you're going to get a little bit of the Georgia that we saw from Texas, where their D-line was just absolutely insane. They play bigger and bigger games for some reason. But Ole Miss was my dark horse at the beginning of the year. I think they've just been shaky, but now you see what they can do. Grant, I'll go with you. I'll take Ole Miss. I would do the money line if I had to, but if you're going to give me 2.5 points, I'll take it. All right, so I'm going to go Ole Miss plus 2.5, but I'll go under on that one. All right, let's go ahead and keep this thing rolling. Let's move ahead. Who we play next week, real quick. You don't have to really talk too much about this one. Texas, Florida. The game is in Austin.
Yeah, I'll take Texas -22. I think they're really, really good. Yeah, and Florida's reeling a little bit. I like the over as well. If you're going to give them 22 points, you got to go cover that. They're going to have to score some points to do it. So I'll take the over, and I'll take Texas.
Okay, I will take. I'll take Florida if you give me the points. 22 points. That's steep now. That's over 3 touchdowns, and so early line. And like I said, all this is taped Sunday night, and so these are what the lines are as of right now. I'll take Florida if you give me the points. And I will go over the 49.5. All right, we got to keep track. Let's keep this thing moving. The surprise team of the SEC, Vanderbilt, giving Auburn the business. And then on the other end, South Carolina derailing very hot Texas A&M. This game is at Vandy. Grant, what you got?
I think I'm going to go with the team that's the hottest right now, and I think that's South Carolina. So I'll take the point, or excuse me, not take the points. I'll give the points up, South Carolina on the road to Vandy. But I'm going to take the under on this one. I think both of them probably, it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth, but the defense have been playing well. So I'm going to go South Carolina, but I'm going to go under.
You and me, we're just at different opposites right here, all right? I want Vandy. Where'd Vandy come from, first of all? I'll take Vandy, and I'll take the points if you're going to give them to me just like the last time. So I appreciate the plus 3.5. So I'll take them. I would almost do money line on that one too. But I agree with you on the under on that one. All right, here we go. The game of the week, in my opinion, Alabama LSU. The loser of this game knocks herself out of the playoff contention at the end of the year. This one's a close one, sitting at -2 for Bama. What do you think?
I think I'm going to take LSU, and I'll take the points. And I think I'm going to go under. Almost 60 points between both of them. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
It is at LSU, and that's the only reason I feel like I'm going to go with LSU here, because it's, what is that, 6:30 night game at LSU. And Alabama, once again, I said it about Georgia last week. Not the Georgia we've become accustomed to knowing. Alabama, definitely not. Obviously, Coach Saban's departure and Kalen DeBoer coming in. They've shown some weaknesses. I think LSU is going to be hyped for this game, and it's a night game in Death Valley. So definitely got to take the points with LSU.
Night game in Death Valley. Come on, man. What are we doing? All right. Everything on the line. I'm with you, Grant. I'm taking LSU, and you give me 2 points. I'll take that too. However, you said the over on this one? You taking the
No,
over?
under.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I said
Alabama,
over,
yeah.
my bad. I meant under.
No,
60 points is a lot of
yeah,
points.
you probably did. I'm with you. I got to take the under because historically these teams it's just defense after defense after defense after defense,
Yep.
and so there goes our picks. Appreciate it. Obviously, there's no Arkansas game to pick this week, so at least we'll win the bye week. Hopefully, let's cross our fingers. No bad news happens over the bye week, and we have a loss somewhere. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the bye week. Try to brush up and get ready for Texas, and we'll give you more picks when we get to that. But y'all stick around, Grant. I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and hop right back up into this breakdown. And Grant, this breakdown is pretty rough. I'll just go ahead and let people know about that.
We'll talk more Thursday.
All right, babe. See you. All right, so here we go. Get back out there, and from the very first play, you talk about teams being able to respond. Woo-wee. I mean, team getting stopped. You would think Arkansas has the momentum. Just look at these D linemen, all of them, full extension in the hip, coming off the ball. Arkansas's O-line didn't want any part of that. That right then and there, I think that's when Ole Miss knew we have these guys' number all day. Let's get to the second play, and once again, D lineman pushing the center back into the quarterback. Talon has to throw it away, and then this is where I want to go ahead and bring in our sponsor for the breakdown, Greg Orr Auto, because I'm pretty sure, like Sam, a lot of our fans, when they saw this play happen, everybody said, uh-oh. So I wanted Sam's perspective at this point on our breakdown. So let's go ahead and bring in Sam. All right, Sam, you got the tough task of breaking down the play that took the breath out of everyone when they saw this happen, because this is when all the wheels started to just fall off the bus. So without further ado, Sam, I'm ready to hear your breakdown.
All right, great, DJ. Good to see you again this week. Hey, so before we get into the play here, I just want to say right from the start, you can tell this was a scheme that Ole Miss hadn't shown on tape previously. Probably, I don't know that we worked on this one, and it's called fundamental football. I mean, this is as you start to roll the tape here, you're going to see right off the bat, there's no slants, there's no twist, there's no stunts, there is nothing special about this play. This is just line up, hat on a hat, knock your head off football. And a lot of people probably look there to the outside and see Harris missed that. I mean, it was a simple blitz. It was just right off the corner, simple blitz. You see him react to that, but as soon as his man goes down, his defensive lineman goes down. He passes him off correctly, but he's just a step too late getting to the outside. But I mean, as you roll it forward here, it doesn't really matter because every single person but that right guard, every one of our offensive linemen were already beat by that point. And then, of course, Talon sees that he rightly understands that airfield bladder he's holding is the reason that they're all after the ring there, and he offers it as a token. But it was just heads up, smash you in the mouth football. And there was nothing special about this play. I don't even want to score for this one because it was like water running through a sieve. It just there was no stopping them, and they were just off the ball quicker. You could tell. I mean, the ball was snapped, and their guys were moving before ours.
Sam, I don't give out 5 stars, but I'm gonna give you 4.8. All right, because what you said was right. I sent that to you thinking you were going to try to draw up something special. But to your point, Ole Miss did nothing that we haven't seen before. Literally, as your words, they just played fundamental football. And I will say this, I will point out Marion Harris on this one because that should be an easy pass off. You even said it. You said he should pass this off to the guard. And you're right. It seems so simple. I don't know what in his mind made him want to jump down just a smidge and allow six to come off the edge. Now, like you said, he probably ends up getting maybe sacked. I don't know. He can maybe try to throw the ball away, but I don't think it leads to a fumble than a touchdown recovery. So, Sam, you're spot on with that one, and that's just going to be the theme for the rest of this breakdown that I'm about to get into. But before I get into that, I feel like a lot of Razorback fans are still just sad and just frustrated and just hurt, some angry. So can you at least give me some good news? You got a good deal at the car dealership or something we can talk about real quick?
Absolutely. Yeah, we got some good news because I know we got Texas in a couple of weeks, and if I was Sarkisian, I wouldn't even show this film because, well, no, we as Arkansas fans hope he does because then they'll overlook us. But we know we got a challenge coming up, and we got to tighten
Yeah.
it up. But I tell you what, the car deals have never been better. This week, 0% financing is back for this month. I've got a truck here that I wanted to show everybody. This is a custom. It's got the Duramax engine, but if you prefer the 5.3 engine, I've got some Trail Bosses, and I've also got several of the RST that fall under that same 0% financing. So now's a great time. Give me a call at the dealership at the OrGM Superstore. Give me a call, or you can reach out to any of the salesmen there if I'm not available. But yeah, ask for Sam, and I'll fill you in on the details. Also, we're on Facebook and Instagram. Feel free to reach out through those mediums as well.
All right. I always appreciate Sam and everything he does for this breakdown and making it happen. All right, let's get back to it. And this is where it gets interesting. I told you Coach Pittman made a comment that this was pregame, and I thought it was very interesting. All right, but true. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
We don't have the money that a lot of the schools do. Now we're getting ready to get it in revenue sharing. Well, we don't have the money, so we went blue light special a little bit with our old line, and from what I understand, they went Louis Vuitton over there.
All right. He ain't lying. Just based simply off the facts about being able to afford better players. But I feel like there has to be some kind of sense of awareness of you can't go on national TV and say the guys you got cheap guys, and the goal is to get more money with the revenue sharing so you can afford better guys, you know? And so, like I said, he ain't lying. He's telling the truth, all right? I just think if we were to go back and try that one again, we probably wouldn't, blast our old lineman on national TV like that. And that's not me just trying to stir the pot. That's just me looking at this for what it is. But that's just a situation, unfortunately, Coach Pittman has to deal with our NIL contribution. And I will say this in his defense, Ole Miss, they have done their part in NIL, and boy, does it show. I mean, because the players that they got, I'm sure it cost a pretty little penny, but they were able to do that and also get these guys to play at an extremely high level. I mean, so that would be the goal one day. I just thought that was interesting. Now, if you want to know what he meant by blue light special and Louis Vuitton, let's go ahead and watch this right here. I'll show you what Louis Vuitton is right here. Take a look at our play. We're going to look at our tight end. He's going to work up to this linebacker, and you tell me right there. I mean, that's just – there's levels to things, right? So you can look at this as just like bad effort. But if I'm your tight end coach right here, 81, Dre, you got to make that block. Just poor approach, bad technique. In my opinion, just unacceptable. But is that the blue light special or going against Louis Vuitton? I feel like sometimes little things can kind of make all that stuff a non-factor. I think that's a little thing right here. We're going to go ahead and keep the theme going. Another one right here, Braun, 72, getting pushed into the backfield. Once again, is this you just being a blue light special player? I don't think so. I mean, I think that's just poor footwork, not coming off the ball, not getting to your target. Look at Braun. He needs to be getting to this front side guy's shoulder and put his face mask in his ear hole. Just bad footwork, doesn't get to his point, and allows this guy to just get in the backfield. I mean, that's exactly where the play's going, inside zone to the left. So, yeah, I think even though Ole Miss is good, we didn't help ourselves with technique. All right, let's go ahead and keep it going. Another one right here from Addison Nichols. I mean, now Addison did struggle a lot in this game because he was going up against some talented guys. But you got to see this coming. All right, you snap the ball, and then you have to keep your eyes up and disengage from this guy and understand they're just doing, as Grant Cook, I'll ask him, a stunt up front, a DE, I'm not sure. But as soon as this guy comes around the line of scrimmage, you have to let go of 51, set back, and then just take on this stunt. I mean, they practice the stuff all the time. but just gets stuck in there way too late, allows this number 15 to come around. Once again, I don't think that's necessarily the difference in how much money we can pay these players. These are small technique things that are not helping ourselves at all. But when you do that against an extremely talented team, you can't get away with it. You know who you can get away with it with? Mississippi State. And that's exactly what happened last week. We could get away with all these small mistakes because we just weren't playing anybody. I mean, Mississippi State was awful. Can't do that against teams like this. Another situation right here. This is from Kudus. They're supposed to be working up to, I believe, a linebacker. But just look at this responsibility. Yes, Carmona is supposed to kind of get down and take over this block. But Kudus should understand, okay, Carmona's at left tackle, and I got a dude with the inside shade of me. It's going to be extremely difficult for Carmona to take over this block. I'm going to have to stay on this and probably take more of it than I normally would, just simply based off alignment. I can't worry about getting up to the backer first. This is the first priority. Once again, I would love Grant Cook to break this down for us, but not helping out Carmona at all. Now, I know a lot of people are just going to chalk this up to Ole Miss being so much better. No, technique prevents that. All right, here we go. A 3rd and 8. Another situation. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I saw this one at first, and I just thought, why are we letting someone run straight through the A gap? All right. It makes no sense. But then I looked. All right. Blackstock checked into the game, and this is a 3rd and 8. And you have Chris Pupal lined up in the A gap. All right. And we just let him run free. Now, this is what's wild. Chris Pupal was in a stunt. He was supposed to knock the guard off and let that defensive tackle come underneath. But if he just would have ran straight for the quarterback, it would have been the easiest sack of his life. Completely unblocked. Once again, Blackstock coming in, just not being prepared for that situation. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to just continue to get on someone's head, but at some point, you got to figure it out. God, it's just rough tape to watch. See it again from this angle. Run straight through the A gap. Look, Chris Pupal, if he wanted to, he probably didn't think, surely this guy isn't going to unblock or leave me unblocked. Think again. Unacceptable play right there. All right, let's go ahead and get to this one. I wanted to bring this up. Number 13. Here we go. You ready? There goes the birdie thing. Tweet. All right. End of the first quarter. He got away with giving up a touchdown earlier because of in my opinion, a bogus flag. But now he's back to that. And so this is probably a good thing we got out of Ole Miss. Situation right here, man-to-man coverage. It simply just came down to who's better and who's not. Okay? And then you look at this play right here. You put it on tape. Look how they motion him out right there. That's a coach seeing on tape. We're not worried about the DBs right now. Especially when he motions them out, puts you on an island. And if you look at Jackson Dart, doesn't even look at the other receivers. I mean, he really could have picked his choice on this one, but he had zero hesitation of who he wanted to go to. Man-to-man situation, team needs you to step up and make a great man-to-man play. Just couldn't get it done. Now, I will also say this, now that I hope we can ease up on the bird flappy thing just for a second and get back into the fundamentals like I know you're capable of. I don't think Coach T. Will is doing any favors here on the outside. And I only say that because at this point in the game, I really don't think Ole Miss was establishing themselves as a big rushing attack, not by any means. The only really big-time rushes they had, I saw it. The only time we struggled stopping them in short yardage is when they brought in that big defensive lineman. But I don't think you leave your guys on an island on this one. All-out blitz, man-to-man coverage across the board. I would need Ole Miss to show me a little bit more in the rushing attack before we go ahead and get to a defense like this. Even then, it got blocked up. And then kind of staying with that theme, another big-time touchdown. This is another thing they saw on top. Sometimes Johnson peeks into the backfield and tries to jump and make a play. They do a great job with this concept by having 11 start on the outside. He rushes in, kind of nods, and that's where he bites. A nice little double move. But then I start thinking, like, we're getting to these double moves. let's see the pass rush. We're only rushing 3. Look at this. Dart has all the time in the world. All right, and this is what popped up earlier in the year. So we've been in situations where we only rushed 3 and we got away with it because the quarterbacks we were playing just weren't very good about getting the ball to where it needed to be. And I think that it's starting to show up on tape now. We're playing against some real dudes. Nussmeier took advantage of it. Even the quarterback from Mississippi State took advantage of it. I mean, they have over 400 total yards. They just had turnovers at very unfortunate situations. And now Dart, I mean, I think that's why Lane Kiffin just kept wanting to go downfield because he says, hey, we can have all the time in the world. And the guys in the back end, they really haven't been doing as good as we think they've been doing based off the numbers. I think that's why in the past 3 weeks, Arkansas has dropped so low in pass defense. And so I think Coach T. Will, it's time to switch it up a little bit. We can't give good quarterbacks time. We're going to run into another good quarterback against Texas after the bye week. And if you give a guy like that time, it's going to pick you apart. And so you see the double move, Johnson getting beat, not getting any help from pressure up top. And then we can just keep this thing going. And I think this may be a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball. If you look at Hudson Clark, he's really playing this like 10-yard out route. You can see him up top, man-to-man. I feel like if you're man-to-man and no safety help over the top, it looks like he's ready to break on that first little move that 11 gives him. You almost have to give that up with no safety help over the top. But I'm not sure about the rotation in the secondary. As you can see, Metcalf. I don't know if he's supposed to be getting back deeper to the middle of the field because that's just a very bizarre look. And for any corner, that's tough. Now, you shouldn't be getting beat that bad. But no help. That's very interesting. We're going to have to ask Matt Harris about that one. Okay, it brings me to this. At this point in the game, all right, it's 28-3. You just saw the last touchdown. Where's the spark? And then I saw something on tape that I wasn't too pumped up about. Let me go and show you real quick. Before that, you remember that clip of Jackson Dart, the very first series of the game, just losing his mind, yelling, setting the tone for his team. 21-8, team needs a spark. And then we walk out like this. And I don't really know him too personally, but as I pause right there, if I am on the offense and I'm looking to my quarterback to be my leader, that look would make me be like, oh, shit. It's going to be a long rest of the day. It's only the second quarter with 10 minutes left, and we already look completely defeated. Now, I get that may not be who Talon is, but sometimes when you're the quarterback and you see your team getting absolutely obliterated, you have to get out of that shell and be that person. You have to. If not, it's just going to continue to pile up, all right? And I know it's 28-3, and it seems like the world is stacked up against you, but we've seen people come back from more. And even if you don't come back and win, you at least need to be competitive in the football game. Now, what's wild is they go down and score on this drive we got coming up, but a lot of it I feel like has to do with DeBinion. DeBinion did such a great job being physical, and you could see him out on the field looking at his guy saying, come on, let's go. Let's get this. He wanted the ball. You can see right now, Talon, a great job in the pocket, gets to Armstrong. Ball's moving down the field. Armstrong doing a great job securing the ball right there. Okay. Another one right here. We get into a situation. Talon extends the play, keeps his eyes downfield, get a little bit closer, and then we end up capping that off with a touchdown run. I mean, you're working with something right there, all right? You're working with a little something. And then the thing is, as we get back to the tape, defense goes three and out. Now it's 28-10, and this is the point in the game where you can get back and get into a situation where you get somewhat more of control. All right, and then the very first play should have been an interception. I'm not sure what Talon saw right here. Almost threw an interception to former Razorback Chris Pupal. I really don't get what we saw right there. I can't have that. Then the very next play, we end up rushing. Good first down, but if you go back, Talon's getting back to the old Talon. He didn't have to run this ball. Option route to Luke right here. Ball should have been out for Luke at the top of this route. Easy first down, easy throw and catch, but he's getting back to not trusting in anything anymore. And I have to say, I kind of get it, but you have to stay with it. You have to understand the coach got a plan. And you can see a little bit better angle right here. Luke has this option route against 6. Ball needs to be out right now. He needs to come out of his break ready to catch this ball. Talon just holds on to it and escapes the pocket. When you start getting back to the old ways, things are going to start looking pretty bad. All right, we get to a situation, though. Then you got another one. Should have been an interception. Just not sure exactly what Talon's looking at right here. Throws into almost triple coverage. This is when things start falling apart. And then we get to another one. Now, this is a close bang-bang play. Talon late with the delivery. You can see right here the Tesla. Ball needs to be out right now. Ball should be in the air. I know a lot of people say, you're so critical. When you play against a defense like this, these are the small windows I'm talking about. Ball should have been out. Gets this ball out just a little late. Easily, in my opinion, could have been a pick 6 if this DB saw it just a little bit earlier. All right, let's get to this play right here. Gives up a sack, and now this is just Carmona being just got beat right there. I get it, but then that just gets in Talon's head because we get to a 3rd and 9, still got a chance to get into a manageable position here in this game. Then as we roll right here, crossing routes, man-to-man coverage, look, Isaiah Satania, wide open. All you have to do is lead him just a little bit, and he turns this up the field. And they're in man-to-man. Tesla, look at him. There's no one over there. The safety's moved across the entire field, and I'm not sure what's keeping him from throwing this ball outside of, I just got sacked. These guys have been on me all day. I want to bring it back down again. That's tough when your quarterback gets rattled. It's kind of very hard to come back from that, and that was what started to happen right there. All right, and then we get to this point in the game. All right, now they just start adding it up, and look at this. All right, I'm going to start talking about mindset as a football player. I get some teams are just better, and I get some teams are just going to have your day this day. But when it comes to talking bad to you, there has to be a flip or a switch in someone's mind that gets flipped of saying, no. All right, I get you may be better today, but you ain't finna sit here and talk to me like that. And this is what I've talked about from the get-go. I'm a little nervous that we don't have enough dogs on this team. And if you're a football player at the University of Arkansas and you heard me just say that, if that doesn't piss you off, you got a problem. You got a problem. You should hear me say that and almost take offense to it. Not almost, should take offense to it. Because what I'm about to look at on tape, no. There's a line, and Ole Miss crossed it. And I felt like they did it on purpose. And I think fans understood that too. They did all that on purpose. They wanted to make y'all look bad, feel bad, and they accomplished every piece of it. Look at Dart right here. This is up 41-10, third quarter, and he won't get off the field because he wants to make sure he tells you about it. Some stuff just don't fly, fellas. And where's the response? Nothing. Look at this. Talking bad. Walking straight up to your face. And then Ole Miss starts, just having a dunk competition on the sideline with your logo on the backboard. I mean, you got your defensive linemen doing 360s. I mean, at some point, fellas, look at this. Look at this. Where are we at? Third quarter, almost 5 minutes left, and they're already dancing. And then the thing is, where's the response? I don't get it. 57 over here doing TikTok dances. That's hard to watch. Whoever this, hey, who are you? Whoever that is, I feel you. I think that represented all of Razorback country right here. All right. Can't harp on that too long. Now, I will say what we're missing after everything I just showed. Remember I said how much time is left in the game, and they're out there just talking and chirping. Look at this play right here. All right. Look at Chris Poopall. This is what we're missing. All right. Players who take it personal, doesn't matter what the score is or whatever. Look at Paul. I'm not going to get this penalty. There is 3 minutes left to go. Your team is up by 32 points. He makes sure he gets the calls, that he remembers that altercation that he just had with Hill. Watch this right here. Look what he says. All right, he finds him. Run that back one more time. Look at this. He points at him in the backfield. He takes it personal. Right here. I'm going to bust your ass. Meet me right here. Right here. Okay, come on. That's what we're missing. I mean, him saying that in that moment right there, woo, that's special. And his team being up, nothing mattered around that game. Nothing else mattered. He just wants to get out there and play football the way he knows he can play football. Doesn't matter the score, doesn't matter the team, but in that moment, that's what separates good players from great players, people who this is made for and people who it's not, of saying, meet me back here if you really about that life. All right? That's what we're missing. And I'm hoping some guys who are watching this right now can figure out how to get this out of more players on the team and set that tone. Now, I know it's going to be very difficult to bounce back, especially after a bye week and playing Texas, but I'm telling you right now, Texas ain't the Texas people think they are. And I do believe Ole Miss, I think they play Texas, so we're finna learn a little. No. Texas that they think they are. And I'm telling you right now, if you show up Saturday with the mindset of what Chris Paul just had, Arkansas will have a chance to win that football game. But if you show up with the mindset of being intimidated after the first couple snaps, it's going to be a rinse and repeat, and you're going to get embarrassed on that football field. A lot of tape to watch. I could talk about so much more. Those are the things that I kind of saw that really pointed out to me, or stuck out to me, that I wanted to point out. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors for making all of this happen. I appreciate all the faithful who stuck around to the very end of the video. And even if you didn't and you got to a point where you couldn't watch anymore, I get it. I really do get it. All right. So appreciate y'all watching 4th and 5. Stay tuned. So much more to come throughout the week.